All right, and we are live. Hi,
Hi.
Holly.
Hi.
Good, good. Hey, listen, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Sorry, we're a couple minutes late. We had a little bit of technical difficulty, but that's okay. We worked through it, and I'm so glad we're able to be here, and it's going to work perfectly now. So, my name is Clyde Keep. I'm coming to you live from Gulfport, Florida, and I'm here with my friend Holly. Holly, where are you streaming in live from?
Good old Minnesota.
Minnesota. Is it warming up
hmm
there a little bit?
it's been pretty good. It's been like in the 80s, so I'm not
Nice.
complaining.
No,
Yeah.
that's definitely that's awesome. That's awesome. Very good. I'm originally from Michigan, but I moved to
Okay, you
Florida
get it.
about 11 years ago. I always say my only regret is I didn't do it sooner.
Yeah, right. You don't miss shoveling.
Not at all. Not at all. Not, I don't miss winter at all. At all. I'd rather do
Yeah,
hot than cold. That is for sure. So
it's
awesome,
true.
awesome. Well, everyone, drop down your city and state into the comments and let us know where you're watching from. Um, if you are watching from one of our Facebook groups, I know we have a lot of our lab partners that are watching for Facebook. Make sure you click the link that's in the comment or in the post because it'll allow you to show your name instead of just saying Facebook user. See, like this person saying hi to us, hi, but it just says Facebook user. So
Hi.
we want to see your name. So put that in there for us. That would help us out a lot. And then just let us know if you're watching the live or watching the replay. Okay, so here's the deal. Couple weeks ago, we were doing one of our opportunity info calls, and Melissa's like, "I have Holly," and I didn't even really know Holly. She's got a kid with her today,
I have
so it's
my
no problem.
toddler. I'm gonna just go shift him while you introduce me.
Sounds good, no problem. So this is the reality of working from home, where you allow your moms out there, but it's awesome because you have that opportunity. We're going to talk about that a little bit more, but it was amazing because. Melissa's like, I have Holly to do a hi Melissa. Melissa's on here right now too. So she goes, I have Holly to do a customer story for us, but I don't have anybody to do the business story. So I think I'm just gonna do that. And then she got to have Holly tell her story, and we were all just like, I said, Melissa, I don't think anybody needs to hear your story again because Holly just covered both the business part and the product part. And like, we can just drop the mic right now and walk out of the room because that was amazing. And I'm like, we've got to tell more people about her story. So I'm super excited to have you here. Before we get started, let's do just a couple little warm up fun questions for you. Okay.
All
So
right.
if you could have lunch with anybody like celebrity, influencer, anything like that, um, dead or alive, who would it be?
I'm gonna go with my dad. He actually
Okay.
passed away about 10 years ago. But the biggest thing is he was like my biggest supporter.
Okay.
Sorry, my stuff keeps timing out. He used to be into telemarketing. That's what he did for his entire life. And we went from like living on the railroad tracks, and he changed his entire life around. He became the number one telemarketer in the United States for what he did. And that's
Wow.
telemarketing, right?
Yeah. Not easy.
No, not at all. But he was fascinating to watch. And I wonder if social media was as prevalent as it was when he was around, what he would have done. He would have
Yeah,
just
for
been the
sure.
best in the world.
Yeah.
So it'd be really cool to just kind of sit down and pick his brain again and be like, do you see what I'm doing?
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And it's so fun. It's some of the people I've been interviewing this week. A lot of them have not been famous people, but more
Yeah.
famous people to them in their life. And I love that. That's
Yeah.
so cool to have influences in your life. That's so amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Bucket list destination that if you could go anywhere, price was not an issue, where would you go?
So I will say I've been pretty lucky to do a lot of traveling. So I've hit a lot of my bucket list. I really want to do an Alaskan cruise, like really, really bad. I want to see the Aurora Borealis. Polar bears are my favorite. Like, I don't know. I think it would
I
be
love that.
incredible.
Me
Yeah.
too. Me too. Yeah, that's one thing I've done a lot of cruising and a lot of stuff like that too, but I've never done the
Yeah.
Alaska cruise. I think it's something I'd want to do once, and I want to do it
Right.
right
So I
the
want to
one
stick
time.
tropical.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But I think it's beauty. I think the beauty you'd have there is just amazing. So that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. I just want to preface before we get started. Holly's story is crazy and amazing and awesome, and I cannot wait to share it with you. I also want to make sure you understand that we're not making any kind of medical claims here, whatever. This is her personal story and what she's done to help take her health back. and her financially what she's doing with it with the business as well. And so there's no medical claims here. Everyone's situation is going to be different, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go. So what I found is that there's two different types of people that get involved in network marketing, social selling, right? And Cheryl loves Alaska too. I love it. That's awesome.
It's great.
One of them who has used the products and they love the product and they're like, I just want to share this with my friends and family and make money doing that, or share this with other people and make money doing that, right? Then there's also people that sounds like Holly and I, that we were really more business focused. We were looking for a way that we could earn income from home and have the freedom. She has the freedom now to be able to take care of her kid when she needs to take care of her toddler, right? And do all the things, but still work from her phone and do all that. And that was me too. I'm not really a great employee. I don't work really well for other people so well. And so I like to kind of handle things on my own, but I still love working with people and in a team environment. So tell us a little bit about how you got started, why you were looking for something, that whole process. Just kind of tell us about how you got started, how you ended up finding Lab.
Sure. So I'm a mom to 3 little boys, and I had my youngest that you just heard about 3.5 years ago. And at that time, my husband and I decided it just didn't make sense for me to go back to work. Like, daycare is ridiculous, and I could not afford to go to work and also see my kids and do all the things I wanted to do with them. So I quit that corporate job so I could stay at home. But here's the thing. Little did I know, within a year, my health was going to take a significant decline. I have an autoimmune disease and a rare connective tissue disorder called hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos. And we didn't know that I had this disorder officially until about 2 years ago, because it just really took me out after my last pregnancy. So these disorders, they cause a plethora of comorbidities, and they're very taxing on my overall health and well-being. So I felt like I was becoming a burden to my family, definitely becoming a financial burden and just a physical burden. Like, there wasn't a lot that I could do. I couldn't really walk, actually. I had to learn how to re-walk.
I know in your story before, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it took me down hardcore. There'd be times I'd be in a ball on the floor, not able to move, crying. By the end of the night, my husband would have to physically pick up my legs and put them into bed because I had used all my muscle strength for the day. My joints are like I'm 70 years old and I'm only 36, but wow. Just because of all the damage that has occurred. However, when I heard that, I'm like, I need to do something about it and just keep finding ways, and was building the strength. So really, at this time, it wasn't good for my mental health. Like, it took me down mentally. I was crying constantly. I couldn't find a way out of this. But I knew I needed to find a way to make an income so I could afford some medical care and just really not feel like a financial burden.
Yeah.
So I have a master's in organizational psychology. And for those that don't know what it is, it's really studying the workplace and personalities in the workplace, and really looking at how organizational structure works really well, what works and what doesn't work. So I'm really, really picky with organizations.
Very analytical about things too, right?
Very, very. And then I also have my undergrad in business. So I'm very business and psychologically oriented. So I decided to hunker down and I researched the crap out of any organization. I quickly began to understand at that time that the way of the world is network marketing. Like, it was really shifting. And this was during the COVID years and everything too, but I started to pay attention. And it was extremely appealing to me because physically I can't do a 9-to-5 job. Like, it's just not an option. Plus all my appointments I'm going to every single day.
Yeah.
So I knew I was going to be picky, where I ended up going, and I narrowed in on Lab. The way Lab is structured is just so incredibly different than anything I had seen. Sorry, I have to keep touching my phone so I don't lose you here. The company, so it actually teaches you how to leverage social media and use network marketing to help people. And everywhere else I was looking was just like, hey, let's throw parties. Let's just keep throwing parties. And I was so fried. I did not want to throw parties and rely on that stuff. No, I want something that's real and something that's life-changing and something that was going to work. So with how lab is organized, I knew that this is where I would learn how to become successful in network marketing. And then all the skill sets I would learn would be transferable and pliable towards other aspects of my entrepreneurship. Like, for example, like I'm writing a memoir and branching off into YouTube channels and podcasts, helping advocate and bring people together for my medical conditions.
I love that. I love that so much. It's so cool. We've heard a number of different stories about people who have got into lab, learned the system, learned the daily workflow, learned those things we're going to talk about a little bit, and they've used it towards either other businesses or helping with nonprofits or just even in their life in general. And it's really pretty amazing. We actually have a program that Melissa and Brandon are going to be doing. Brandon mostly coming up in June. That the Freedom Workshop, which is they're going to take basically the principles that we use to build our lab business, but show people that they can use it in any business that they're doing. Right. I love that, so many companies out there have the philosophy of like, we want to get you in and we want to just lock you down and keep you. Right. Where our corporate team at Lab, Brandon and Melissa, their philosophy is like, we just want to be a part of your story. If we can do anything to improve your life and help your life and just a part of your journey. And I just love that because it's such a prosperity mentality versus a lack mentality, right? And I think that's so amazing. So I was thinking about you the other day. I had a conversation with somebody who was looking to work from home, so somebody referred them to kind of talk to me. And so I started talking to them, asking them some questions and stuff like this. And they were just like, oh no, I would never do network marketing. I'm not a salesperson. I really just want like a customer service job I can make like $12, $15 an hour at home on, right? And I'm like, so why were you willing to take the risk, if you will, of starting a business from home versus just finding something you could just work from home and get paid an hourly wage or something like that?
Great question. A few things. I don't want to be capped on my financial freedom. That is one of the biggest ones. And that's something my dad taught me as I was younger. Like he graduated or never even graduated high school until way later. And he's like, it doesn't matter what your degree is. What matters is that you're persistent and that you can do anything that you put your mind to. So I had that mentality going in and I'm like, I want to show my kids that I don't need to work for somebody else because mama can do this. And that's just something important to me to show them that they have the capability to do anything that they want. And I'm kind of like you where I managed properties for several years, and I had quite a team under me at that time, but there was always somebody above you. And no matter what you did, you didn't have the control over your own company. And I don't do well with that. Like I love on my people. And if I'm working under someone that doesn't do that, that's not going to work for me.
Yeah. It's frustrating when I feel that. I feel that for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. So I love the fact that you are this educated, intelligent businesswoman who went out there. No, I mean, that's important because I think a lot of people have the impression of network marketing. Oh, it's the mom who couldn't get a job anyway and decided just to throw a Tupperware party. Right. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it's a true business. I mean, if anybody's an example of that, it's our chief marketing officer, Melissa, right? Who's created a lot of our content, our training, whatever. I mean, she was a strong businesswoman, had a huge childcare business, right? But saw this as a path. And I see you as like the same way. Like you had business, had the degrees, had all the things, but you're like, this model works and it makes sense for my lifestyle. So I think that's amazing people to hear that it's not just honestly, I think that like business people and educated people are some of the best people for us to have on our teams because they get business, they get success principles, they get all those things, right? So it's amazing. Now, had you even tried the products before you decided to start join Lab?
I didn't at all. So when I came in with it, it was really like, I knew that this organization was going to make me money because I saw the structure, I saw where it was going, and it just made sense. But I crossed my fingers and said a prayer. I'm like, I need to like these products too, though, because one, I want to see if I just wanted something to help me a little bit, just to take the edge off. That was my first original goal. Things totally changed from there.
Before we go there, what would you say to somebody who says, oh, I have I have to use the products. I have to try them. I have to love the products. I have to like you get a lot of people like, oh, I can't ever think about promoting something that I'm not like had this like
Right.
huge major success story myself. Now you have that now, but
Yeah.
you didn't before you made the decision. What would you say to somebody that feels that way or is thinking that?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked, because I was talking about this with someone on my team the other day. So before I was ever in the lab, I used to, one of the things I did way back in the day is I sold like additional insurance plans on top of cell phones, right? I did not believe in the plan for my personal belief. However, it didn't matter. It didn't matter what I was seeing. What mattered is that I knew the benefits that it had to offer, and I knew the benefits that it could provide somebody else. And that's what so like say these products, maybe you only use some of them and not all of them. It doesn't matter because you're seeing me. You can use my story, and
Yes.
don't limit your mindset to what is available that you can give to somebody else, that you could be changing their lives with my story, with Christine's story, with everybody's story.
Yeah.
So to me, that's just, it's so important to understand that you're selling the benefits, not what you think is going to work just for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I always say you could totally open up, own a McDonald's and not want to eat McDonald's. You could totally own a coffee
Right.
shop and not drink coffee. I mean, it's totally a thing, right? So,
Right.
but the extra added benefits to being a product of the product is you did start using our products.
Yes.
And that's where I want you to tell us what started happening when you started using our products.
Yes, I will do that. So the biggest thing is I didn't realize I was actually going to end up finding a miracle along this journey. And that's what's been the most mind-blowing part for me. And so I started taking Morvita and Liveology line for about 14 months now. Both myself and my husband take them. So since doing so, are you ready for this? I am no longer on any medication. I had been on overall since I was 7 years old, 13 different types of medication for this, where it's tricky. I don't want to make any medical claims. So for just a lot of common things, but also a lot of things that were to help my disorder, and a lot of things that people are supposed to go on for an autoimmune disorder, and most rheumatologists require, and I'm nothing, completely off of that. So
now I just want to reiterate one more time. We're not saying that if you're on medications and you take these products, you're going to be able to get off your medication. 100% always talk to your doctor.
Absolutely.
Make decisions like this. But I also think it is important, and Holly's a good example of this, is it's important to take your own personal health into your own hands, right? To take it into your own hands. And that it's ultimately your decision on what you do with your health and what you decide to put into your body, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think that's important for people to remember. That is like make the choice and use your. I think we talk a lot about like the gut health, right? But it's the gut, heart, brain that all work together, and your body's getting messages all the time about what you know is going to be right for you. And so listen to those things and really do that. So, okay, continue on with your story. I think that's just amazing.
That exactly what Clyde said. That's the most important thing that I ever did. So I'm a huge advocate for my disorders. I do different podcasts and things for them because I took back my health. So that's the most important thing. So one of the things, I have what's called intractable chronic pain. I was told this by my integrative specialist, and I was only 35 at the time. I'm like, I cannot live this way for the rest of my life. I was terrified. I was defeated that I was going to be in excruciating pain and end up in a wheelchair, honestly, where I was headed. I know I touched a bit earlier, but so I had to learn how to re-walk using my muscles instead of joints. And my conditions, they're crazy bizarre when it comes to the amount of inflammation that I get. It's intense. So last spring, when I was working with my integrative specialist, I told her I was taking Moringa and I wanted her, which is our Morvita product, and I wanted to know what she thought. And she's like, I wish the entire world would wake up and realize like Moringa is the way that you need to go. This is for everybody. And she went off on her list, and she used to be in Western medicine and switched over because she just understood certain products so much more.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then, so my rheumatologist, she didn't want me to stop taking that medication for my autoimmune disorder. And as you know, I made the choice to do so. So a few months ago, I went back in for a checkup and she was completely blown away by what I was doing. She asked what I was taking so she could look into it. And I was told that day that I no longer need to be seen by her, like even on a yearly checkup, because my flares are so under control. And about 5 or 6 of those comorbidities that I was dealing with are gone. So I'm technically like in remission for that.
Yeah.
And then just kind of last thing on that.
What, other than taking the lab products, what else did you do? Did you do anything else? Because I always like to be like full disclosure, right? Like was it just the magic pill, you know, or was it other things you changed in your diet and your exercise, all those things?
So great question. So here's the number one thing that changed for me is, so my chronic fatigue and temperature dysregulations, brain fog, it's a huge issue with what I was dealing with. So all of that was so completely out of control. Like I couldn't really function and think. So Morvita, when I started taking that and the nootropics, they just started to allow me to think and do things, which allowed me to take the next steps in my health, such as like for me, I have to do pool therapy and physical therapy probably for the rest of my life. But I just couldn't even get to that point before because I was so drained and depleted. Like I would hold my eyes open like this when I was driving. I felt like I needed toothpicks in them. I'd have my head out the window just so I didn't fall asleep. So for me, it was just I know. I know. I'm like, do I share that? But yeah, I mean,
that's awesome. I think that's great. So much safer. So it's made your life safer.
It has, yes, much safer.
That's awesome.
So with that, and then I was able to actually have my mind back to start doing more clean eating. And here's the biggest thing. Like I know a lot of people you see lose a lot of weight. Like my husband actually lost 40 pounds by literally only doing the Morvita and then doing some clean eating and Lifology. For me, last year, I was in such a state of, I still could barely move. Like I used to walk 5 miles plus a day, and then it just took me down where I couldn't physically move. I just had hip surgery two months ago, so I should be climbing again. But the point of that is, during that entire time, going off any of the medications that I was on that helped me also keep that weight under control, I never gained any weight last year, which was crazy to me for not moving. Like this year, I know I'm going to lose 50 pounds because I can move and I'm on my Morvita and my Lifology.
That's a big thing we hear from a lot of people, that like, even if they don't do the change their diet and change, like move their body and do all the things you really need to be doing, you know, because it's all part of the comprehensive plan, right? But even if they don't, when they're taking these products, very few people gain weight. Even if their diet isn't great, because the gut health, there's my baby, he's like in the background there. Because of the gut health is so much better. They got the gut health under control, right? It's amazing.
Right. Yeah. It's funny. I always tease my husband because we've been together 19 years and the guy loves his cereal at midnight. Like that has always been his thing. It's ridiculous. Right? But it's all like let's get my frosted everything and sugar everything.
It's horrible. I know. Yeah.
Every time he's been taking more, this is why he's lost weight, because he's taking Morvita. He doesn't have those sugar cravings like he used to. And anytime I forget to make his Morvita, it's the running joke in the house, because all of a sudden he's eating cereal at night and he'll look at me and be like, don't, I know what you're going to tell me. So it's Morvita, man. It craves that sugar.
I love it. So tell me just a little bit more about how you're using the daily workflow and the systems that we have that you've learned from being a part of the lab business opportunity to help you in your other things you're doing in your life.
Sure. So prior to a year and a half ago, like this is probably one of the most mind-blowing things to me. I didn't have a following on social media at all. My niece actually had to set me up with a lot of social media stuff because I did not know what I was doing. Now I'm close to 5.5 thousand followers on Facebook alone. And it's just because I was following the daily workflow where they're telling us step by step, like, this is how you attract followers. This is how you get people to follow your authentic story. And it's just, okay, let's just do exactly what it tells me to do. and it just started growing. I learned how to utilize reels and utilize stories in different platforms. And because of that, I'm doing freelance work on the side now where I create reels and videos for other people. And I had no clue what I was doing a year ago, right? I
You hear that,
started.
people? She's taking what she learned from this business by just buying some wholesale products that changed her life. And it's
Yep.
allowed her to create another stream of income by doing social media stuff for other people.
Right. It's crazy. And for me, the biggest part that it's allowed is I get to be loud now and advocate for my disorders. So I have a separate group that I've created there's people from all over the world now that are in it, just so, because we're a smaller group with my connective tissue disorder. I have a podcast now that's going to be coming out. I have a YouTube channel that I just launched. All this stuff I never thought I was gonna do. And a memoir now that's going to be coming out because I have a huge platform for like childhood trauma and parent loss and all sorts of other things that I didn't know how to use my voice, but I knew I wanted to. And that's what Lab gave me.
That's so amazing. That is just so amazing. What do you like most about working with the Lab community and our leadership?
The two words you just said. There's community and leadership. And that's ticket right there. Like, so for those that don't know, there's Melissa Collins and Ashley South. Those are two people like I just really, really look up to. I admire. And you don't have to feel scared coming to them and asking for advice, and they don't push you to the side. It's a full-on community. Clyde, you reached out to me after my stories, and there's connections. There's nobody's competing. It's all a camaraderie. Can't say the word right now.
Camaraderie. Yeah, it's like one team. It's like one big team. Even though we're not really on the same team, except but like we all work together as one team to help each other. I love it.
Exactly, and everyone has their things that they're good at, right? So I can go to Clyde like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing for an interview. Can you teach me these things? Sure, why not? And your goal is to just build each other up and be the best version of yourself. And that's what you get here with Lab.
I love it. I love it. Mm-hmm. So give me, if you had one piece of advice for somebody who's looking to change, give us both. Business, looking to earn money from home, looking for the freedom to be able to still have their toddler at home with them and take care of their kids and do the things they need to do to be a mom, or but also be able to earn income from home, and their health. What would be the things that you would give the biggest advice to someone for that?
So one thing that those who know me that I say all the time, perception is your reality. This is the most important thing I can tell someone, because if you have the perception that you're not going anywhere, your health isn't going anywhere, you're not going to be able to do anything because of X, Y, and Z, the excuses you are making for yourself, you've created that reality. When you change that perception and your mindset to, you know what, I want to make an extra $500 so I can do these sports with my children, or I want to start eating better just so I can take one step at a time and get out of this hole that I've dug myself into, that becomes your reality. So it's a twofold. Perception is your reality.
I love that. That is amazing. That is amazing. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up here. This has been amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
What some of you heard Holly talk about the Livology system and the Morvita. Those two things together, we call it the fitness bundle. It's a bundle you can buy together. It's
my Morvita.
There's your Morvita. I love it. Awesome. Didn't get a lot into products, but what I want you to do is, if you are interested in learning more about the products, please reach out to the person who invited you to watch this video. So it could be me, it could be Holly, it could be a bunch of other people, because we have a lot of people like Janet. Thanks for joining, Janet, that is watching. And so I know people are going to be sending people out to watch this video because people need to hear this story. And so get back to the person who invited you to watch this and just ask your questions. But honestly, here's the deal. We offer a 30-day, Lab offers a 30-day money-back guarantee. There is literally zero risk to give these products a try, okay? Now, I will tell you, in 30 days, you're going to start to see some results. What I'm also going to tell you is that my naturopathic doctor, Lexi, who does a lot of stuff, and we talk to her a lot, right? She's like, you need 90 days, 3
Yeah,
months, right?
3 months.
Really, 3 months to really see it. She would really prefer 120, is what she'd prefer people to commit to, right? Because it's not, listen, you didn't get to where you are in 30 days. It's not going to take 30 days to get you out of there, but you'll start to see those benefits. But I love the 30-day money back guarantee because it takes the risk of like, is this a scam? You know, like out of the thing for people. We also have an amazing promotion going on today. So if you order today, get with the person. There is a promo code you can get from the person who invited you that will give you $10 off the fitness bundle. So make sure you get with the person who invited you. They'll be able to give you that information. Again, that's for today, the 12th of May, right? I'm sure people will be watching this way after that too. But Holly, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. Oh, I want to share too. More Vita, you guys. My entire family drinks it. I have the pickiest children in the world. But when anybody asks me to describe the taste, it's impossible. It's just good. You can't describe the taste.
And everyone thinks it's a little bit different. I think everyone's
right. Everybody, it's a total different story. I just had to share that. But
it's great for kids. I mean, I think that's an awesome point to make. Whatever that people think, oh, you know, but kids, it's nutrition. You're basically giving them a vegetable, a plant.
Yeah.
Right?
And I had it cleared with the pediatrician. All 3 of my kids, different ages, take it every day as their vitamin.
I love it. That's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. And as I always say, envision your best life. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you.